Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to be making a new apron. As you can see, my current one has seen better days. I've had it for a couple years. I made it right around when I started, and I think it's time for a little bit of an upgrade. Now, I'm going to preface this video with the way I do this in the video is not how I would recommend anybody does a leather project. So as you can see, I'm making size adjustments by just doing folds. Honestly, I was just being really lazy. I should have just made a fresh pattern, but I didn't. And yeah, you're gonna see my mortal sin in this video. Okay, yeah. So I've made the size adjustments, and now I am just placing it on the leather. This Actually, I'm going to have to remember what this leather is. If I can remember, I'll link it in the description. But I'm just using my fid or scratch awl, whatever name you want to call it, to kind of do a rough tracing. Now, obviously, this is made out of canvas, so it does not work very well when you're tracing the edges, which is another reason why I would say just make a pattern. And this is going to be a very, very basic apron. And at some point I'll do a more fancy one, but for now I was tired of the beat up canvas and I just wanted something leather. So I'm just using some of my Ginger shears to kind of do a rough cut. I don't need these edges to be perfect. I'm not going to fold the edges. Honestly, this is just a piece of leather and some lace with 4 eyelets in it. Okay, so I'm going to say this, and I'm going to preface this with the only reason I'm saying this is because I was being really lazy. I kind of decided that I wanted to go for more of like a medieval period style, let's say, apron. The image I had in my head is like some peasant blacksmith just needed an apron out of utility. And as you can see, I'm cutting a really strange curved line, and what I'm doing is actually a faux live edge. And so I just kind of like cut the leather enough to where I can tear it, and then I just tear it so I get all those loose fibers at the end. It looks really cool. And now I'm just evening out the curves. But yeah, so the vibe I was going for was more of a like medieval, somebody just made this out of utility more than like to look really nice. They just needed a nice heavy duty apron, and it does look really cool for what it is. But I could have gone like super crazy with the decorations and whatever. And eventually I will do that. But for this one, I didn't. I just didn't have a lot of time to do the video. I've got a show tomorrow. It's like a 10-hour show. And I just needed something nicer to wear than the beat up canvas apron. Okay. Yes. So I was just being very lazy today. There's several things in this video that I'm going to correct in this commentary. One of the things is that instead of just taking the time to use the right size hole punch, I used the biggest tube of my rotary punch, but it actually isn't big enough for the eyelets, and so I had to pull out all of my drive punches and do it that way. I was being very lazy. I don't know why. I guess I was just in one of those moods. But yes, now I had to pull out all of these and figure out the one that I wanted to do. And instead of putting it on some quartz and putting a punch pad underneath, I decided to just punch it on this table, which, again, is not something that I would recommend. And as you can see, there's a lot of room for the hardware, so I needed to add some leather to the back of it, and the leather that I used for the apron was not thick enough, even though I'm going to be stubborn and try and use it anyways. It's not thick enough, so off camera here, off to the side, I grabbed some scrap I had of some Horween Chrome Excel 3 to 4 ounce, which is nice and thick, and I just punched 4 holes for each eyelet hole, and then I just cut 4 squares around the holes. As you can see, I'm doing that with my shears, and that's just to have some more body for those eyelets to bite into. And so now I'm just pulling out all my setters and trying to figure out the one to use and whatever. And I decide, okay, you know what? I need to stop being lazy. I need to put this on a quartz slab because otherwise I was not going to be able to get that eyelet set. Now, as you can see, it sets beautifully, and I'm going to do that for the other 3. Just as a reminder while I'm doing this on camera, the video that I did last week, the purses are now up on my website, for sale on my website. You got a link in the description if YouTube lets me have the links because it's being kind of fussy about that. But if you saw that video and you wanted those bags, they are available. Okay, now I'm changing the camera to show me putting it on. And I'm just test fitting with the lace, and I'm just doing a very simple knot to hold it in there, trying to figure out where I want the apron to sit, and then I'm just kind of trimming the lace. I'm going to do 1 knot. Okay, well, I try and do it as a slip knot, and that just doesn't work, so I end up feeding one end, and I didn't realize that this was not on camera, but as you can see, I do a very, very simple knot there, and I'm just adjusting until I get the height that I want. And then I'm going to take another piece of lace and trim it. I'm actually trimming 2 pieces of lace. I'm going to do the exact same thing on those holes, but I'm doing more of like a slip knot. And then I'm going to tie that same exact knot, and then I'll have 2 strings basically to tie in a simple like kind of bunny ear knot or whatever you want to call that, like how you would tie your shoes. And that's basically the entire apron. To be honest, I thought I'd have more to say here while this is going. But I suppose if you like this video, then leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel because it helps me make more content for you guys.